Back. We're just kicking off another wonderful week of Liquid Lunch here on Newsmax TV. We're coming today live as we do every single day, noon to 2 Eastern. Today we're in the Hooters Heat Studios, and we're going to have the CEO of Iconic Brands who brings us all these beautiful Hooters products a little later in the show. And on Money Monday, we talk about money, we talk about your portfolio, all the things you need to know. We bring on the money guests. And Fernando Uribe is always here for us. He is the host of Politically Direct on Insider NJ. And he's also a faculty member at Bergen Community College. And speaking of money, on Money Monday, the word is that Planned Parenthood, a government-funded supposed nonprofit, is going to spend $45 million of taxpayer money to fund pro-abortion candidates. Fernando, this sounds sick to me.
It's really funny, and thanks for having me back on, John. It's one of those things that it's interesting about. This is like the typical Democratic Party playbook. You know, take taxpayer dollars, fund liberal organizations. And listen, and just for the record, Planned Parenthood offers a lot of great services for poor and working class people.
So I don't want to. I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with that.
But you know what? Ted Cruz, the senator from Texas, said it best. You know, with taking taxpayer dollars, Planned Parenthood announcing that they have $45 million on hand. Well, if they have that on hand, why do they continue to keep getting taxpayer dollars and funding these sort of clinics? Again, whether it's prenatal care or other things. But you know what, John? A lot of Americans don't want their tax dollars funding birth control or other aspects of what these clinics are. And if they can, listen. If
a lot of Americans don't want our politicians wasting our time and money on the Mueller probe and the impeachment hearings and all this other crap. I think we talked about it last week. I think there's like 72% of Americans favored a whole entire new Congress because they don't represent the will of the people anymore. They represent whatever the heck it is in Washington they're for, which is lining their pockets.
And the spending really has gone out of control. And this is another thing, too, where, again, you know, Planned Parenthood seems to be able to sustain itself quite independently. And they're sort of being overt with their message of, we're going to take $45 million of taxpayer dollars and we're going to fund Democratic campaigns. Could you imagine, John, for a second, if the NRA, which doesn't receive a nickel of taxpayer dollars.
Oh my God, I can't imagine that.
Just imagine for a second if the NRA even took a nickel of taxpayer dollars and they said, we're going to go out and support Republican candidates in 2020. Can I tell you something? Liberals would lose their minds, John. and that's the hypocrisy about this entire thing.
How would you like that, Frankie?
Well, I'm not a big believer in groups that are primarily about political advocacy getting federal funding to begin with. Planned Parenthood, they claim that the reason that they get federal funding is because they provide women and other people with services, including access to health care and abortions. But I think the rationale holds true, is that if you have all this extra money to spend on political campaigns, maybe you don't need $600 million or so in federal taxpayer money to do your business. Let me ask you about another issue that a lot of those of us that follow politics has been watching. That's the political ramifications of the Super Bowl. We saw Mike Bloomberg have an ad in the Super Bowl last night. Donald Trump had 2 ads last night. Here was one of them.
I'm free to hug my family. I'm free to start over. This is the greatest day of my life. My heart is just bursting with gratitude. I want to thank President Donald John Trump. Woo! Thank you.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
This was particularly interesting, Dr. Uribe, in that this was one instance that we haven't seen too much, quite frankly, of the president, instead of moving to shore up his base, reaching outside of his potential base to somebody that he might be able to win over on an issue like criminal justice reform. This is the most watched television event of the whole year. Is this going to be effective in winning any converts to the Trump cause?
Well, Frank, I mean, listen, this is the thing, and the president has done a very good job in these last 4 years in attracting voters that are both black and brown, and he needs these demographics. Yeah. You know, his approval ratings among Hispanics has been better than it was in 2016, and it's been better among African Americans. And when you see a commercial like this, again, a lot of politicians on the left want to talk about criminal justice reform, and it's a big sort of rallying cry, but they don't get it done. The president's been doing these things. This, again, along with a strong economy, this criminal justice reform, and nominating good centrist judges to the federal judiciary, this is the bread and butter of his platform. This is why the Democrats don't have a game plan against them. And they've been wasting taxpayer dollars with Mueller probes, Russia, collusion. John, it's not getting them anywhere.
Yeah, no, I think Trump's done an amazing job of at least trying to make a case to expand his base. Lowest African-American unemployment rate in history. Highest number of Asian new businesses started during Trump's reign. Household incomes are up $5,000.
Women working too. Women.
Across the board. Women opportunities are opening. And let's not forget, Joe Biden proudly took credit for the '94 crime bill, which caused many of these people non-violent crimes, small amounts of different types of substances to get these tremendously long sentences. So when Trump is, with the First Step Act, turning that stuff around, let us not forget who caused the, what many say, incarceration of a lot of minorities for small crimes. Trump let them out. Joe Biden was the guy that started locking them up. So keep that in mind. We're going to take a quick break right here. We're going to come back with Lauren Conlin right after this. She's an entertainment correspondent, and she's the host of the Red Carpet Rendezvous with the Oscars coming up this week and all that good stuff. We'll see what other celebrities want to use their platform to spew off about their political stuff. I want to thank Fernando Uribe for joining us today. He's always there for us when we need him. I want to thank you for sticking with us through hour one, but stay right there. Lots more to discuss. More Liquid Lunch for you right after this.